Hey guys, Monday, April 27th, and we have officially completed 6 weeks of at-home training. Oswald's happy about it. Give yourselves a pat on the back. You deserve it. All right, here's what we have for today. Mixing it up a little bit with our strength work for today. We are going to be doing some squats, and we are going to attempt to do death by awkward or heavy squats. Now, what I mean by that is awkward or heavy. If you guys have access to a barbell, let's make it something that's challenging to get up onto challenging to squat once we get it up onto the shoulders. It can be a front squat, back squat, overhead squat, however you guys want to do it, especially if it's a barbell and we're limited on weight. Now, if we only have kettlebells or dumbbells, what I want you to try and do is get this as much in your center of mass as possible. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate in a second how those kettlebells or dumbbells are going to look, 1 or 2, and go from there. The second little caveat here is that, as you can see, UB, it needs to be unbroken. 1 rep, obviously 1. 2 reps need to be 2 in a row. 3 reps, 3 in a row. 4 reps, 4 in a row without putting it down, etc., etc. The rest in between can technically be as long as you want it to be, but it shouldn't be much more than a minute, if that. So the only reason I would want you to go beyond that is if you guys are really looking to push yourselves on the weight today, you have a barbell and you're trying to challenge that idea. Obviously it takes time and energy to pick it up and get it onto your shoulders. All right, so here we go with a single kettlebell or dumbbell and then 2. I want you to try and get it as much in your center mass as possible, which means we're probably going to stack it on the back side of the shoulder and squat from there. Right? Essentially, it's sitting on the top of my trap right now. If you guys want to, you can always front rack it and go that way. The only thing I don't want you to really do for this, unless you just haven't done them in a while and you want to do them, is a goblet squat. I want this to be a little bit more, you can get back into your hips and it's easier to stabilize and brace. 2 dumbbells or kettlebells. If you guys remember this from the open WOD a little while back, I'm trying to do the same thing that we did with a single kettlebell and stack the dumbbells on top of our traps. All right, so unbroken, death by, heavy or awkward squats. An example of awkward, Amanda Pukas has a punching bag at home, suggested that she try and hug the punching bag and squat with it from there if she's unable to shoulder it. So use your imagination, use your creativity, make it challenging, and let's make sure we stick with unbroken sets. All right, nice job on the strength. Here's what we're looking at for today's workouts. For those of you familiar with a Tabata, I want you to do a Tabata each of 4 different movements. You're going to complete each movement before moving on to the next. Rest in between is up to you guys. I would prefer that you don't have rest, but if we are super smoked from the squats, or we have, as you're going to see, heavier weights for the deadlift that's involved, feel free to toss a minute rest in there in between your different movements. So first one is going to be a reverse lunge step. 2 different options here. You guys are going to be doing 8 rounds each, so you can go all right and all left 4 rounds each, or you can alternate legs every time. Second movement is going to be a deadlift. If we have kettlebells, obviously it's a little bit easier to tap the ground with 2 than it would be with 2 dumbbells, which I'm going to demonstrate in a second. If you only have 1 kettlebell between the feet, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sumo stance, but it's obviously going to be inside the knees. 1 dumbbell, standing it on ends as I'm going to demonstrate. And obviously if we have barbell, it's pretty simple. All right, third movement is going to be a jumping air squat. Not necessarily looking for height as much as I am good hip extension popping off the ground and actually using our hips to do that as opposed to using our toes, calves to do the takeoff, so to speak. All right, and then the final 4th movement is going to be a glute bridge. This time it's going to be a hold. All right, so we're looking for an isometric. I want you extension, squeezing the glutes, holding for 20 seconds, down rest for 10, 8 rounds of that. So 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 4 reps, 8 rounds each, reverse lunge steps, deadlifts, jumping air squats, and glute bridge hold. All right, so demonstration for the deadlifts, 1 kettlebell or 1 dumbbell versus 2. I want you guys to touch the ground when we have 2. So we're gonna really need to focus on the lumbar curve, that lower spine, make sure it's staying in good position. It's probably gonna feel like you're having to squat down a little bit more, meaning the knees come forward in that position than normal in order not to round off and gain that distance by reaching. For our single dumbbell, I want you guys to stand it on end, just like we would be doing if we had a single kettlebell, and lifting from there. Meathead Monday, baby.